Hey, happy Friday for you. Today's Tuesday. Tuesday for me. But happy vlog day nonetheless. So last week I planted a seed and I feel like the seed started to kind of sprout some roots. So we're gonna talk about that this week. I'm also for this week and next week gonna talk about sisterhood in the Black community and just like my thoughts around it. But before we get into that, let's talk about spooky season. Let me look at myself. Hold on. Okay, I'm good. Spooky season was great, y'all. Spooky season was great. I had a really, really great time dressing up. Both of my costumes came out the way I wanted them to. The events I went to, one of the events was really fun, really good, really I think that if they do that every year, that'll be an event that I absolutely will attend every year. It's really dope. It's a nice vibe. It's at a venue where we can smoke at. I just love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. The second event that I went to was at the place that I was telling y'all, I think it was last week, I was telling y'all the venue that I went to for my second event is closing at the end of this year. And so that party was packed. Excuse me. And that party being packed was a bit overstimulating, both for me and my friends. I just think I have a different kind of bounce back. Like, overstimulation for me makes me want to like lean into it, and I can feel my friends like repelling. And so I was kind of like, okay, come on, y'all. Let's just get on up out of here. Let's get on up out of here. I'm ready to go. But both of my outfits came out cute. One of my outfits was a group costume with my cousin. And that made other people want to do group costumes with me next year. So I'm excited to do like a big group costume. Like, I want to do like Scooby-Doo. Or I want to do like Sailor Moon and, you know, the other sailors. Like, I definitely want to start doing more stuff that's going to create more attention to my content, more growth for my brand. So I will say that spooky season 2025 was a success. Really great things happened over the weekend. Like I told y'all, when I was like damn near breaking down, I got a chance to dance and kind of just release. Crazy enough, I had a whole different, but I think I had a more frustrated and angry vlog kind of set up for today. And this morning, unprompted completely by anything other than I think a conversation that he saw on the internet, me and my partner had a conversation, and that conversation actually, it eased up some of the frustration that I was feeling and I was gonna bring to the conversation today, if I'm being honest. And some of the frustration that we saw me feel last week, right? And so I think about the last 2 weeks of my vlog. The week before the Why I Stay week, it was kind of like me trying to pump myself up and be a bit overly positive about the situation I'm in, if I'll be honest. Last week was me kind of being like, whoa, this shit sucks and I'm getting tired of this shit and I'm actually just trying to find a way to be okay with this shit. I did some reflecting over the last week, and I have come to a bit of a middle ground, and I want to talk to you guys about it. The middle ground that I'm at, and I even spoke that to my partner today, is like, I'm drowning. And I know that you know that I'm drowning because you're watching me do it all. But it's just like, I don't know how to feel about the fact that like you can't really help me. And I don't know how to feel about the fact that I'm supposed to hold on so you can help me eventually, or once you get yourself together, when it's like, I wish you could have just been ready now. I literally said that to him, and I feel like saying that to him today in a conversation, we were talking about other people's relationship, but obviously we were speaking about each other and ourselves. And I even said, I was like, in my situation, my frustration with you is like, I told you that I needed a certain thing. I told you that I wanted a certain level, and you kind of knew you wasn't ready, and still kind of came over here even though you knew you wasn't ready. And one of the most honest things he ever said to me is, I don't think there's ever been a man that was ready before meeting the woman. But, you know, I really do hope that you give me an opportunity to show you what my bounce back look like. And I heard that. I heard him when he said that. And I will say that where I am right now is I am tired. And I am feeling a lot of frustration and a lot of like negative emotions. A part of me feels a little bit jaded because it's just like, I all but begged you not to make this my reality. And even though in a lot of ways you couldn't help it, it still hurts that I'm going through it. But I understand the optimism of the woman 2 weeks ago. And I understand the frustration of the woman I was last week. And I believe that where I am right now is both of those things exist. And I honestly don't know what my next step is going to be. Like, because I don't know if this man go get a job and start making up for it. And it's just like, no, I don't want it, because I didn't want this, and I didn't want to have to readjust from the pain. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I think that is something that I was uncomfortable with sitting at. I was uncomfortable with sitting at this place of, I don't know if I want to stay or go. I was uncomfortable sitting at this place of, I don't know if this is the right position for me or not. Like, he's a good man. That doesn't mean that he is the right person for me. I'm a good woman. I don't think that means that I'm necessarily the right woman for him. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm in a place in my life where I'm assessing that. Because if I'm being honest, a lot of the things that frustrate me right now that are going to get fixed within the next few weeks, next few months, they're also patterns that I've identified in this relationship. Like, if life get hard for him, he actually does more destructive things than productive things. And we all do, right? Like, when life gets hard for any of us, we don't make the best of decisions. But for me, I haven't really been able to answer the question of, do I want to be in a relationship with someone who essentially makes life harder for me when life is already hard? And my positive combat to that is, there's a hard path alone. There's a hard path with another person. Where I am right now in my life is, I am looking at the patterns. I am looking at myself. I am looking at him. I'm having conversations like we had earlier today to see where I want to be. I do know that when I decide where and what I want to be, I'm going to be very honest with him about it, opposed to what I've done in the past in relationships where I just check out and I'm still at the relationship with the person, but I'm out here doing whatever the fuck I want to do. And I kind of feel like I was in a place mentally in this relationship that I wanted to do that. And then I told myself, like, oh, I'm sorry, this is bothering me. I was at the point of my life where I wanted to do that in this relationship. Then I was just like, well, let me fix that. Let me not do that. Let me check myself. And so where I am in my relationship currently, like I said, I planted a seed yesterday. I feel like that seed is like getting roots, and these roots are pushing out to things that I see that he needs to work on, that I need to kind of take my hands off of. But I found something within those roots that I need to work on, whether I stay with him or not. I realized that I actually oversimplified the sadness that I feel about not being able to have children. And it wasn't until having a kid in my house every day that is not mine that I realized that it really does hurt me, that I probably will never have kids of my own. I think it hurts me even more to be nurturing a kid and giving to a kid and loving on the kid. And one day somebody, shit, dare I say it, even that kid will look me in the face and go, but you're not my real mama. And I realized that's making me kind of create distance between me and both of my stepsons. And I wanna use my energy right now while I'm in this relationship to work on that, while I allow him to work on the things that he needs to work on. Because I do feel like I've been like looking at everything that he needs to work on, because I haven't really identified what I need to work on. I kind of feel like I'm perfect in this situation. Like, I got my shit together. He needs to get his shit together. And in so many ways, yeah, but this little pocket here, whether I stay with him or not, I need to deal with my motherhood wound. I need to deal with the fact that it hurts me that I won't be able to have kids. I need to deal with that, because I don't deal with it. I don't even say it. I don't admit it. I always say, I'm okay. Don't nobody want no kids. And to be perfectly honest, long term, no, I don't want children. But I think I take for granted the fact that, like, there's a difference from never trying and never wanting to have children and trying and having miscarriages and acting like, oh, that's cool, I didn't want it no way. That's a lie. You tried to have a baby. You kept pregnancy test in your house. Every time your period was a little bit irregular, you were peeing on a test. You would cry and lay in your bed depressed for weeks at a time after you realized you were not pregnant. And I just feel like I oversimplify it. I've been pushing away my own feelings. It's okay, girl. We don't need that. We don't want that. And even though I still do not justify what my friend did to me that year for Mother's Day, I can understand her not feeling like my sadness on Mother's Day is authentic, because I don't ever say for real out loud that it hurts me that I can't have kids, but it does. And taking care of my stepsons on a consistent basis, or doing things and considering kids and realizing that it'll never be my own, hurts me. And that has created a little bit of distance between me and my stepsons, and I don't like that. And I want to address it, and I want to fix that. I want to fix that because I deserve to hold space for myself and my sadness, and I haven't been. I have just been kind of pretending that it doesn't exist. See, I'm uncomfortable right now, and I just started reaching for stuff because I rarely ever admit stuff like this, period. And to be admitting it on a camera and then putting it on my YouTube channel for anybody to watch at any time is scary to me. But I want to tell my story because I know I'm not the only woman in this world that doesn't have children, that decided to date a person, male or female or indifferent, that has children. And it's one thing to just not have children and not want children. It's another thing to have tried to have children, lost them, and then trying to raise another person's kid, trying to have a hand in raising another person. It's just hard. Like, I didn't recognize how hard it was going to be. And so now, like, my biggest frustration and fear don't even got nothing to do with this man. Like, I don't even care about him and my romantic relationship with him. It's like, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. Like, but I don't. Like, and so that's what's so scary about it. It's like, I love these people, but I am triggered as fuck. I am triggered as fuck. Because it's easy to not think about what a life looks like with kids when there's no kids in your house, right? Like, I just live my life. There's a kid in this house every day, and he's growing, and he's getting bigger, and I'll never experience seeing that on something that is mine. And I know I can already hear people talking to me right now, telling me, just love those kids like they're yours, but they're not. They're not. And if I have to be human and real right now in this space, these ain't my kids. But every day that I take care of them, I'm reminded that I can't do that. I can't do that for myself. And I can't do that for their dad. I could never give him another life. And that hurts. And so I just got to deal with that trigger right now. And that's what I want to focus on. It's just like dealing with that trigger. And so that's kind of all I'm going to talk about as it pertains to the house and relationships. Like I said, I just need to take a break from that shit. And this week we are going to talk about sisterhood in the Black community. Woo. Okay, take a deep breath. I want to talk about sisterhood in the Black community. Number one, because I am starting to develop really great sisterhood connections and friends with women who are really great. And I am grateful for that. I have had some really bad experiences with friendships, but I've also had some really good experiences with friendships that, as I talked about, have lasted a long time. But I feel like I've never really spoke about this idea of sisterhood, because I don't feel like it's only something that we should have for people who we even call friends. Like, there are people who I just want to benefit from the sisterhood that should exist in our community from us, interchangeably, without having to call ourselves friend, right? For me, sisterhood is just a camaraderie of looking out for one another. And I feel like as a group of people, black women, we got it. We got it in a lot of ways. Like if you see a black woman outside crying, I don't know a black woman that's not gonna stop and check on another black woman, make sure she okay. We have it in a lot of ways, but I feel like we also missed the mark in a lot of ways. Like, why don't none of us want daughters? Like, why can we find it in ourselves to have so much patience and grace for the men in our lives, but we don't have that level of grace for our friends? Why do we treat our daughters one way and our sons one way? Why is it that our mom can fuck around and get crucified, but if our dad fuck up our whole life and then come back and take us out to lunch, that's just the best thing that ever happened to us? Like, why is there so much self-hatred for women? Like, where is the disconnect? Like, next week I want to talk about external sisterhood, right? But like today, I really just want to talk about this internal concept of sisterhood and like being there for yourself. How are we talking to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? Because I realize a lot of the women, one second, y'all. I'm back. Sorry. I realize a lot of the women who I've had really negative, I'm not going to even call it another other word than what the fuck it is, negative friendship experiences with these women did not have positive self-talk. And I realized that when I'm having negative self-talk, I'm not a really good friend. I'm not a really good partner. I'm not a really good daughter. And so I feel like it's so important to talk about the fact that, like, we literally are overcomplicating everything in life. Because if you just wake up every day and take care of yourself and do right by yourself and feel good for yourself, you will essentially show up in the world as your best self. Now, you doing that for yourself doesn't mean everybody else going to do it for themselves. And so the problem I feel that we come across as women, people really, but specifically since I'm talking about women, is we project our shit onto other people. Other people who are already going through their shit look at the shit that we're projecting onto them, take it as an attack, and then we all become enemies. And I feel like that's what's true a lot for women in our sisterhood. Like myself, I always just use myself, y'all. When I was not comfortable admitting that I have a sex addiction, I don't think I've ever told you guys this, but I have a sex addiction, y'all. When I wasn't comfortable admitting that I have a sex addiction, I used to shit on my sister's alcohol addiction. I made my sister feel like the worst person in the world because she couldn't help the fact that she wanted to have a drink, as if I was any better than her when I couldn't help the fact that I wanted to sleep with some stranger. Not to call one thing more dangerous than the other, because pumping poison down your skin ain't no more better or worse than hopping in the bed with somebody who you don't know. But I was literally risking my life on so many fronts and pretending like I was so much better than her and creating a rift in that sisterhood bond. Now, luckily for us, one day I got to a better self-talk. I got to a better place. I apologized to her before she passed away. But how many of us have friendships and connections with people where we could have been a better friend based on how we treat ourselves, dealing with our own shit? A lot of times we don't apologize to people because a part of that apology is dealing with your own shit. See, I couldn't tell my sister I'm sorry for judging you so much without saying I know how hard it is and admitting my own addiction. A lot of us don't want to admit to our own shit. We don't want to look ourselves in the mirror. And because we don't want to look ourselves in the mirror, we cannot show up authentically in friendships. And I'm trying to change that for myself. Like, I even think about a time with one of my friends, and we'll wrap up here because I want to keep us under our 20-minute agreement. One of my friends now that I'm just now getting to know and learning, Jordan, we had a conversation some weeks back. And in that conversation, she shared with me an observation that she had about my life that probably wasn't the most positive. Actually, no, not probably. It's not me capping the words. She shared something to me that was very hard to fucking hear. She even said before she said it, ooh, I don't know if I should say this, but I feel like I can say this. When she shared that to me, I immediately wanted to defend myself. I wanted to go at her. And then I paused. And I just said to myself out loud before I started to send her back voice notes, communicate. We're going to go over 20 minutes. My bad, y'all. I communicated how I was feeling. And what she said to me made me feel, even though I do not think that she meant it in malice, this is how I felt. She clarified it. We talked through it. And we still good. We texted. We're actually texting before I started recording here today. That for me is a literal reminder. I'm so grateful that I had that experience so I could share it here on this camera. That all it takes is a conversation. Literally today when I was talking to my partner, he was saying like sometimes women, we get, and he's not wrong, we get mad at men before we have the conversation because women, we feel like I shouldn't have to have the conversation. And like I told him, I said, and in some situations, as a woman, I do feel like I shouldn't have the conversation. Why should I have to tell you how to appreciate me? If you don't naturally want to appreciate me this way, I would rather be by myself and I don't even need to be appreciated in this way, or be appreciated in this way by somebody who appreciates me. Platonic or romantic, that's the truth for me. But I understand this concept of let's communicate before we decide that a person doesn't want to give us what we want. Maybe they don't know that we need it. Maybe they need a little bit more guidance on how to give it. People will love so many people in their lives, and none of us that they love are the same. I think it's actually really dope when a person comes into your life and they don't know how to love you, they don't know how to be there for you, and they ask you. I love that I am in a relationship with somebody who asks me, tell me what to do. And I have to get away from this pride and this kind of arrogance and this entitlement of, I shouldn't have to tell you, just do it. What is he using to do it? What you're using to frame and create your expectation for love are fairy tales that he will never watch. He was watching action movies. And in action movies, all the man does is walk up to a woman and be his cool self, and the woman falls all over him. The problem that I find and I'll close with this and then we'll pick this conversation up in our community is everybody has a different expectation of what we're supposed to get, and nobody wants to talk about it. When I think about sisterhood in the Black community, I realize that if we just talk to each other about what we need and what we are feeling, I feel a little insecure. Can you tell me that this is okay? Am I crossing any boundaries with you? If a friend can say, no, you're fine. You're just fine. I'm okay. Clarifying that, it'll help us. I'm going to close us here. Next week, we're going to pick up talking about communication in our community and talking about sisterhood in the Black community and how we've taken the communication out of it. And that's the reason why the sisterhood is kind of struggling. I love y'all. I thank y'all for holding space for me. All in all, as far as my relationship goes, we are just working step by step. Every week I'm gonna give you a little bit of what I find, but this is where I'm at as it pertains to this. I didn't even think that I was gonna pull that out of me, so I don't even know. Like I didn't think that I was still sad about not having kids, and so I gotta sit on it a little bit and work through that. Because I didn't recognize that it would hurt me this much or trigger me like this. But I'm really excited to dive into the sisterhood conversation. I love y'all as usual. I hope y'all have a good week, good weekend, and I'll see y'all next week.